Hey everybody, this morning or this afternoon I'm in Bournemouth. I flew out here from London City Airport the other day. Didn't record that flight. Then I took a side trip to the north to see the Stonehenge. I did make a recording of that and I will post it eventually. Today I'm going to fly back from Bournemouth to London, only this time I'm going to land at Heathrow. And from there I will hop off to the continent and continue my Microsoft Flight Sim Odyssey, Dublin to Durban, South Africa. Why Dublin to Durban? Because I like alliteratives. Anyway, going to take off per the weather and the active runway forecast that I saw, unless they tell me differently, on runway 26, heading west and back over towards London and landing there on runway 27. So a bit of a loop around, might take me over London proper, I'm not sure. So without any further ado, I've already put the flight plan in. I'm going to call the tower, be a good boy and get clearance. I wanted to depart east.
Bournemouth ground, Beechcraft Alpha Lima Oscar Hotel Alpha.
That way.
Request taxi for takeoff east departure.
Beechcraft Alpha Lima Oscar Hotel Alpha taxi to and hold short of runway 26 via
Okay.
taxiway Mike Tango November Echo cross runway 26 Golf 2 Golf Golf 2 Golf Golf 1 Golf. Contact tower on 125.605 when ready.
I will never understand this string of letters.
Taxi
Okay,
to
so
hold short runway 26 via taxiway Mike Tango November Echo cross runway
Yeah,
26 Golf.
I think
2
it's
Golf Golf 2
right
Golf
behind
Golf
me
1
over
Golf,
there.
Beechcraft Oscar Hotel Alpha.
And so I got to pivot to the right and not hit a building where that would be the end of the flight. Whoa. Hitting gas tanks is okay, but not buildings. So I have to do this very slowly. I don't want to start all over again. Again, I'm not flying in local time. It's actually about 10 p.m. over there later now. When I started, it was about 10 p.m. So I wanted to fly in daylight as usual. So I've changed the time. Now I can't answer for the weather. Sometimes I get live weather, which I'm supposed to be getting now, sometimes not. Sometimes I will start out without it and suddenly it'll pop up. That could happen in this flight. If that's the case, I don't know what I'm going to get. Alright, I'm going to taxi out to the runway and talk to you on the other side.
Beechcraft Oscar Hotel Alpha. Continue taxi. Beechcraft Oscar Hotel Alpha. Did you copy?
Yeah.
Beechcraft Oscar Hotel Alpha hold position caution. Other traffic.
Well, they told me to hold here for other traffic. I don't see any. Oh, there it is. We have a truck on the runway. Okay, I'm at the runway. I've got some business to take care of first. One is lower the flaps. Two is set the altimeter for my cruising altitude, which will be 6,000 feet today per the flight plan. And three, I want to consult the chart, the approach chart. So we'll have to descend from 6,000 to 2,500, maybe beginning over here or someplace. 2,500 is the where you intercept the ILS beacon, which is going to take me to the runway, and the setting for that is already dialed in, frequency 109.5. It says 44 degrees here. I don't know what the temperature is going to be at 6,000 feet. So just as a precaution, I'll set the de-icing now. I'd rather not be fumbling around with that later. Okay, so there you go.
Bournemouth Tower Beechcraft Alpha Lima Oscar Hotel Alpha at runway 26 ready for departure. Departure to the east. Beechcraft Alpha Lima Oscar Hotel Alpha altimeter 30.00 wind 290 at 15. Departure to the east approved.
Set the altimeter and acknowledge that.
Cleared for takeoff runway 26 Beechcraft Oscar Hotel Alpha.
There we go. We'll go on autopilot pretty shortly after takeoff, I think. Now we're at runway 26 and line up a little bit, try to get centered, and let's go. I can lift off now. And we're already on course.
Beechcraft Oscar Hotel Alpha continue for east departure. Bournemouth Tower Beechcraft Alpha Lima Oscar Hotel Alpha continue for east departure.
We'll go to the autopilot now. Vertical speed, not 2,000. Okay, so we're on autopilot, and not much more to do but look at the scenery for a while. Our first waypoint is SAM, S-A-M. We have a way to go. That's it there. It's not a long flight. Maybe 75 miles, 80 miles, something like that. Well, I forgot to raise the flaps. I'm always forgetting something. That'll crimp your style speed-wise. 6,000 feet. I'm going to dial in 2,500, which is where we have to descend to by the beginning of the final approach. So that's already dialed in. And then it'll be just a matter of descending to that altitude and remembering to arm the approach. And we should be good to land at Heathrow. Bournemouth is already almost 11 miles in our rear view mirror. So we're about 4 miles from the first waypoint, Sam, and the next one after that is Mid, which is actually an omnidirectional beacon. There's actually a radio signal there. The rest of these are just GPS points. There are no beacons. It's all satellite based. Well, I see some weather out there, some clouds, so I guess this is the actual live weather. And it's cold up here, 25 degrees Fahrenheit. Icing is not likely because it's pretty dry. We're not going through any clouds. In case you've never watched one of these before, what are those? Those are other people like me who are also doing flight simming in this general area. And yeah, over here it says a P-38. 2 P-38s. Maybe they're flying in formation. Those are vintage warplanes, I think. So we're coming up on Mid. That's the VOR I mentioned, and I'll be turning to the northeast, kind of east northeast. We're going more north northeast right now, and there we are turning on the chart. So getting pretty close to London now. The next waypoint's only Inver at 8, just under 8 miles. So I'm going to slow down a little bit, because otherwise things will come at me pretty quickly around London. It's supposed to be kind of fun to switch to real time flying into Heathrow, just because nighttime approaches are very dramatic, the way the runways are lit up. See up here it says ILS runway 28L, 27L, OCK. That's a arrival procedure. I think it's the initial approach fix. Anyway, you can select these procedures, departures and arrivals, and it greatly simplifies the flight planning. then you just have to program the waypoints in between them. So Auk is right there, that's where the approach begins. This shows you which way the wind's blowing, and it's coming from this direction, which would tend to blow us off course, which is why we're not following this GPS needle, not pointed in quite the same direction. The autopilot is correcting for the wind drift, and there's several options here to look at it. It's telling me that it's out of 307 degrees at 42 knots. It's a pretty stiff crosswind, and that's why we're not pointed in the same direction as the purple arrow. It's not anything to be concerned about. It's exactly what the autopilot should be doing. So Auk, it says IAF. That's the initial approach fix. That's only 5 miles, so this is going to happen pretty quickly. Landing at Heathrow. It's a short flight, as I said. In fact, there's Heathrow dead ahead. There's Heathrow, but we're going to be going out that way and landing there. So we're going to be turning to the east and then landing back from toward the west. 13 miles as the crow flies, but we're going out that way first.
Heathrow Tower Beechcraft Alpha Lima Oscar Hotel Alpha is 11 miles south, 6,000 feet with India to land. Beechcraft Alpha Lima Oscar Hotel Alpha Heathrow Tower. Altimeter tree 0.00 wind 280 at 19er. Make left traffic runway 27 left. Make left traffic runway 27 left Beechcraft Oscar Hotel Alpha.
That's what we're doing. Okay, so we're here and I'm going to start letting down. Time to descend. I want to get down to 2,500 feet now. There's the airport. We're going to be coming around, and I need to be at the correct altitude at the right time. So I'm going to reduce speed. As we're descending, we're going to be picking up speed, and I don't want to gain too much. I think we may see a little bit of London proper on the way in. We're at the correct altitude now, and I'm going to try to arm the approach. And it's armed. That's what the white GS means. If you don't see that, you left something seriously out. And the only remaining thing to see happen is for this purple needle, which is for GPS, to go green for the runway localizer beacon, the radio beacon. So we are just about getting lined up here on the final approach. Heathrow's over there. Alright. Well, decided to go to real time. Local time, it's a lot nicer. A lot more exciting. Look at that moon. I've got the floodlights on so I can see the instrument panel. And I think when we come around this turn up here where it says intercept, that's where we pick up the localizer. So this is actual local time in the UK. And I've got to slow it down. We're still about 13 and a half miles from the airport. Next waypoint is OCK 63. And right here coming up, I notice up here it says BOD, bottom of descent. That's where you absolutely have to be at 2,500 feet. And I've been letting the airspeed slip a little while I've been talking. Well, this is pretty dramatic, to say. The moon is pretty cool. Gotta slow down, I'm going way too fast. So on these ILS approaches, you don't have much to do other than watch your airspeed. Make sure you're at the right altitude for the interception with the intercept with the radio signal. I expect that course direction indicator, the purple arrow, to go green. If it doesn't, I'm going to be a little worried. Approach is armed. It's supposed to switch over by itself. Still 12 miles out. I think intercept just means we intercepted the final approach, and we're now completely lined up with the purple arrow. And there it is. Okay, there's the localizer, and we're navigating by the localizer now, as my nav light just came on my panel. And again, I've got to really dial down the airspeed. 2 miles to the final approach fix. This is about the right landing speed, and I haven't put any flaps in yet. There's Buckingham Palace over there. Really should do a fly around. All these points of interest are well marked. So 9 miles to go. The GS indicator is still white. This thing indicates we're right on the glide slope now. That's the altitude we need to be. We're not too high, not too low. There we go. It's blinking green, so here goes the descent. And I'm going to... Still going to wait on flaps a little bit. So we're descending about 350 feet a minute. This is all calculated based on distance and airspeed. I have to say, nighttime descents are a lot more interesting than daytime. I'll put in some flaps now. Flaps, 1 notch, and we're 5-6 miles out. There's the runway, at the runway in sight. I was looking at 27 right instead of left. And put down the gear. Always a good idea. We are 5 miles to the runway. descending through 1,800 feet. Of course, London is essentially sea level. So I have a way to go yet. What we're looking at over there. What's that? It's like a stadium. So we have 27L immediately ahead.
Beechcraft Oscar Hotel Alpha wind 280 at 19er. Cleared to land runway 27 left. Cleared to land runway 27 left Beechcraft Oscar Hotel Alpha.
All right. Put in the second notch of flaps and throttling up so I don't stall. We're about 101 knots actual true airspeed. 98 knots indicated, 99 knots indicated. Gear are down, flaps fully configured. And that runway looks beautiful. Descending through 1,000 feet. Need to keep the indicated airspeed about where it is at 90 knots. And at some point here, I have to come off the autopilot and go the rest of the way on my own. But we're still a couple miles from the airport, and we're still at over 800 feet, so I don't think I need to do that yet. Those lights up there are 2 white, 2 red. That means we are on the glide slope. Those are called PAPI lights, P-I. I don't know what that stands for. If you were coming into a runway and airport with no instrumentation, you would still have those lights to go by. And you want to be 2 white, 2 red. The avionics just said we're passing 500 feet. So I'm about ready to disengage the autopilot. How low can we go? Look at that moon. That's amazing. That says I'm too low. Alright. Coming off now. And now this is on me to okay. Straighten out a little bit. All right. Good deal.
Oscar Hotel Alpha, turn next taxiway.
Next taxi. Let's see what it looks like in the daytime. Well, I guess if you want to see the terminals here, you better be in a big plane. They don't give you the option of going to a gate if you're in a little aircraft. But then this is where all the rich folks go. And I think that's where I'm going, right over there. There'll be somebody waiting for me. Of course, you understand none of these big blue things or these big flocks are really here. They are artifacts of the sim. People like me who get lost at airports. More left? Alright. Okay. That's it. Alright. Good day.